How were you able to find your place or your voice or your space in the world? What steps, what's like the one, two, three of how you went from stay at home mom, complacent, feeling a void to where you are now?
Well, the first step was to really understand that nobody else is doing this for me. Like, nobody else is controlling this for me. Like, I don't have to, and I'm not doing it for anybody else. This is not anybody else's life. And, everybody can have their view on it, but it's only just their view, of it. So that was the first step of realizing that I've got to take control. I can't live the expectations. I can't, think of my life as like, oh my goodness, this thing that I have to put a bow on and package neatly that, to present to the world. So yeah, that was the first step. And then the step was communicating what I wanted to my support system. So, reaching out for help and um, disconnect from that addiction, and then asking myself what I really wanted and just really thinking, where do I want to go? What do I do? How do I want to do it? And who is going to help me do it, right? So then you have your self-help, gurus, motivational speakers, and all these things that you can, spiritual guidance and things like that you can use to help gather your mindset in that direction. So I did that, and it was a mindset mastery class that I did, and I mean, a lot of things. I can't even just pinpoint it to just one, two, or three. Even it was just learning about down to the end of it. It was just really listening to the voice of myself and all these other things. And there's guidance out there. You know what I mean? Like the world will show you the signs if you choose to just slow down and pick them up, right? So yeah.
Exactly. So what do you have, going on? It seems as if you've got, you know, uh, a, a great product, an education behind the product that's vast. What's your, I don't know, what's your 7 year plan? What do you envision for yourself and for Lotus and Thorn going into the future?
Well, I definitely would love to have a brick and mortar. I would love to have a place that people can come and they can sit down and have a cup of tea, read a book. I mean, not a place, a store where people are just passing through, pick up, and I mean, buy something and leave. I want a place where someone can have a whole experience. And for those people that don't have that place to escape to connect to themselves, they can use Lotus and Thorn. They can come to Lotus and Thorn and they can connect to themselves there, and they can have their whole ritual or whatever they need there in that space. And I want to create a really calming, a really transformative place that people can come and feel like, oh my goodness, like this place just makes me feel so good. Like I, found a lot of things that I thought were missing, but they were always inside of myself, but they were brought out, and just like how I found the same things in that. So yeah, I would love to have that a brick and mortar where people can come and I can share what I have with everybody else.
That's awesome. And I can totally envision that, and everything that that would encompass. So cool. So, how do people find you? How do people connect with you?
Well, they can go to the website if they want to order product. It's Lotus and Thorn, Thorn with an E at the end, Thorne, lotusandthorn.com. And then also find me on Instagram or on Facebook by the same name, Lotus and Thorn,
Is
on
that it? Did I
Instagram.
spell
So,
it right?
mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
perfect.
got it. Yeah. Yeah, so then I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, so then you can come leave comments, see what's new, see what see what's going on, and share what you're going
Very
through, or
cool.
leave a comments.
Very cool. I'm imagining the social media being eventually a very calming social media with nice, calm aspirations and affirmations coming through to my phone.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the hope, right? Because I mean, like, it's so harsh. The world is so harsh. We
Yep.
should be using social media to really build each other up and really help each other be the best versions of ourselves and learn from each other and be open to new things, and not this harsh thing that competition or whatever it's turning into.
100%. Yes, that is nice and will be nice. I know that myself, as far as that goes, I feel as if I've done a pretty good job of correcting my algorithm. So the majority of stuff that comes into my feed now is very uh, uplifting and positive, and all about leading a good life.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so, so I like to, about the end of the podcast, I like to kind of lighten the mood a little bit with what I call the lightning round 5. Are you up for it? A little bit of fun?
Sure. Sure, of course.
Okay,
Of
so I ask you
course.
five. I ask you 5 questions. You can give me a straight up answer, or you can expand on it a little bit. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So first question is your go to midday snack.
Oh, carrots and hummus.
Really?
Yes, my kids and I love hummus, being that we have a plant-based diets. Everything is with hummus and carrots, or my one daughter, she likes bell peppers, the other one likes cucumbers. I like crunch, so it's always going to be carrots or sometimes celery, but the hummus is the driver of all
Very
that.
cool.
Yeah.
And this is why I love asking these questions. So plant based. When did that happen?
Plant-based. We've been plant-based now for 10 years. Yeah. So, yeah, plant-based because my daughter, when she was born, she had really bad eczema. And I thought, okay, what's going on? Like, she hasn't been in the world that long to, like, what is this inflammatory response she's having? And we cut out all animal products and her eczema went away. So, I mean, that's
What?
the success story. Yeah. And yeah, so that was the allergy, or I mean, something that was inflammatory to what we were, giving her. And yeah, no more eczema.
Very freaking cool. And then you guys just stayed on it to it's
Yeah.
healthier anyways.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The benefits, and then it's becoming a lot more easier. In the beginning, it was like, okay, what do you put together? And then now it just is the way it's our life.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I tried going vegan a while ago, like 6, 7, 8 years ago. I did it for 6 months. And that was the biggest issue I had was not like I just get tired of eating green smoothies and salads and
Yeah.
not having the backing or the education or the knowledge on how to cook more plant and just not having the time or the want, I guess, to actually figure that out. So that is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely like, and even to be plant or to reap the benefits of a plant-based diet, you don't have to cut out, your animal products completely. But I mean, the thing is just the processed food and the packaged food and the heavy fried, just the things that we know that are not good for us. And then just consuming, as many different vegetables and fruits as, you care for, and then using all that other stuff as kind of to sprinkle in, as flavoring or whatever,
Yeah.
enhancement to your fruits and vegetables.
Very cool. Very awesome. So, second question favorite quotes?
Ooh, I I have a lot of quotes that I love, but
Yeah.
recently I heard some quote. I don't know who it's from originally. It's not a famous person, I don't think, but I saw it and it said, "Don't let anybody that isn't in your shoes tell you how to tie your laces." And I love that. I love that, you know.
Absolutely. That's a good one as far as taking your power back.
Yeah, yeah. We all have our lives that we need to own, you know, and not give that power away to anybody else and let anybody else make a decision for us.
100%. Third question, sun or shade?
Sun. I was born
Yeah.
in Jamaica. I'm an island girl. I would always take the sun. I love it. I mean, I'm not a sun worshiper per se, but yes, the sun is good for you. Yeah.
That's cool. I used to be that way and now I'm more of a shade girl. My background is Spaniard and Mexican mixed. But I think too many tanning beds in my past led me to kind of break out in these sunspots, which I don't have anymore. But I used to have really bad sunspots, which I'm sure you've seen on some of us lighter folks because we don't stay out of the sun. But it's frustrating, the pigment of your skin changes as you get older.
Yeah.
And my
I definitely have melanin to thank for not
yeah,
the harshness of the not feeling the harshness of the sun. Yeah.
yes. So unfortunately, I tell my fiance all the time, I'm like, I miss being tan because you see these little cutesies walking around and they're all, and even my son is 17 and he works on the beach as a towel boy for one of the hotels on the ocean. And so he's got the shirt, white chest, but his arms are all nice and tan, and his face is all nice and tan. And I'm like, ah. So I'm more of a shade girl now. Next question. What is your favorite city to visit?
Ooh, well, it'd have to be Orlando just because I love the kids, taking the kids and their excitement to everything that's magic there at Disney and all the things that the tourist attractions. I really love seeing their eyes light up. That's a whole experience for me. Just having them experience, you know, like living vicariously through them.
Mm-hmm.
So I always love going to Orlando because I know that I'm going to see these kids just like, oh my gosh, you know, and that's so awesome to me.
So cool.
Their
So cool.
innocence.
Yes. Yes. Last question. A place you must go before you die.
Egypt. Egypt, I have to see the pyramids. I've got to visit the tombs. I've got to see all of that. I love
Dude,
Egyptology.
I've never heard anyone say that before, and I wouldn't have even thought of that.
Yeah. Well, then of course, if you see Lotus and Thorn, a lot of my aesthetic for the business is Egyptian. So yeah, you'll see the lotus is an Egyptian lotus, and you know, you will get that feel of. And then a lot of the products, my rose comes from Egypt, and my lavender comes from Egypt. So yeah.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. I love that. Ever since I was young, I always love, you know, the kings and queens of Egypt, and you know, my dad used to always make us watch Cleopatra and and Elizabeth Taylor and stuff. So yeah, I've always loved Egypt.
Oh, that's so awesome. And that's so cool. So some of the stuff in your teas is from Egypt.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
awesome. All right. Well, I've never heard that one before. And I think I'm actually going to put that on my list, Egypt. This is why I secretly asked that question, is to get ideas.
I know, right, right. Yeah, definitely, definitely. What is your city? What was your city?
Dubai.
Oh, yes, yes, Dubai. Yeah. Ooh,
Dubai.
luxurious.
It's funny because I'm not a materialistic person at all. I consider myself very much a minimalist. But the wealth in Dubai, and the buildings and the architecture just, it's a mind blow to me. I just want to see it so bad in person.
Oh yeah. It's absolutely beautiful. The videos that I see in the buildings, I mean, like everything's just so beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, 100%. So that would be my number one. My number one.
Oh, awesome.
So, listen, thank you so much for being on here. But before we close up, I'd like to ask all of my guests advice. So I have curated, as you like to say, a question for you. And it's the last question. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. Speaking to your 20-year-old self, what words of advice would you give to her?
I would tell my 20-year-old self, don't live by anybody else's timeline. Create your own timeline, because whenever you achieve something in your time, it doesn't have to be at a certain age or at a certain, rigidness of, oh, I'm going to graduate college, I'm going to have kids, I'm going to have this by this age and that age. None of that matters. Do it all in your own time and don't care about what anybody else is doing in their time.
Absolutely. And I think all of us can take that advice even now.
Yeah. If you want to go back to school at 40 and start a whole new career, if you want to not have kids or not get married until you're later on in life, go for it. I mean, create your own timeline.
100%, 100%. Totally agree. And I love that. So any closing words?
This was so much fun. Like this is this is my first podcast and this is awesome. Like I feel great. Thank you so much for inviting me. This was such an experience and I'm so happy to share like everything that we've talked about, because it's something that we all need to hear and we all need to talk about and come together as women and we're all going through our own things, but they can connect at some point where we can all take from each other and learn from each other. This is awesome.
Yes. I am looking, if you're interested. I am, as I'm going through, guests, I'm letting them know that I am looking to do groups of 3 or 4 people on one subject. So like in this case, maybe get 4 entrepreneurs, me, you, and 2 other women who can kind of speak a little more in depth about the steps that you took to create your own business, whether it's the website or it's the social media, or it's because I think a lot of times there is this heaviness on you have a possible idea, but then not really knowing what to do with that idea. What is the very next step? What's the next 3 steps? And if we can get, people that are in the same circle as far as, what they're doing in their life. So in your case, entrepreneurship, or, creating an actual business with a product, and being able to present that, in a 45 or an hour long podcast with 4 different women speaking. I really think that would be beneficial, to women out there who are kind of juggling the idea.
Yeah, and then also the reassurance and the empowerment that we can give each other, that you do have all the tools and there's, you can do it. You can do it, and you have the support and you have, everybody's here rooting for you. It's not, don't be afraid of, there's nothing to be afraid of,
Exactly. 100%. So thank you so much for joining us here. So we're going to close up. Thank you so much for joining us on Her Version. If you have an amazing story to share of struggle to triumph, be sure to reach out to me here or on herversion.life. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I am so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and to inspire others. Have an amazing day. Much love.